fighting! The other team, EMP's out, but it is way too little, way too late. Chat, you want to give me some MTDs?
I'm not even sure we're live right now. I'm having a little bit of a technical issue, maybe?
Oh, okay. Unlucky? Unlucky? Because that was a...
Unlucky. Braxis, could we actually get a pause on that right now?
This is a good time for a pause.
Yeah, this is, if you want to hit him with a, like, technical pause. Give him a little heads up. I've started recording just in the off chance something's up.
Are we having some issues?
I think we are. Show. I need to double check the stream key. I think someone reset it. I don't think it was me.
That's not good.
That is really not good. No, it's... Let's see
Resetting
here.
the stream key is kind of a no-no.
Can't show the stream key. Okay. So
that's not good either.
let's see if we're up one more time. And we are not. Okay, so I'm gonna stop the stream.
Are we gonna emergency evacuate this to another channel, or how are we doing this?
We're just gonna start from here.
So wait, so we're recording it and that's it? Or do we have a stream? I'm confused.
The stream was not up.
Huh.
I think we're good now. I'm gonna start on a 3-minute delay, but we should be good to go, and if not, we're recording, you know? And it'll be up on the YouTube.
Cool. Cool.
Very sadly, we did miss the first few fights there, so
yeah,
you know, anyone watching the recording, anyone watching the stream, Titanic did get a 4-man tire.
And Minimax absolutely got a huge shatter, and on the fight that followed that immediately after, that negated an EMP basically, and a coalescence.
Yeah.
So, and hit a short pin that was absolutely nasty onto Merlin.
Oh yeah. But now we're
like
right back into it. Miss one map. There should be at least 2 more to go if Wisdom wants to keep their streak.
Yeah, absolutely. But this looks like early aggression comes out. Spongy going with the Death Blossom, but Grab comes out for the side of Edinburgh, but it's not good enough. The fight is still very winnable. Pin coming out doesn't get anything, but it's still an easy fight cleanup for the side of Wisdom Academy.
Spongy Cheese getting more out of his shotguns than his ultimate at that point.
100%. Stall's coming out. Thai's gonna just tire this really cheekily. Graviton comes out. They're gonna bully Merlin and get him killed as well, and now it's just Diva and Pog holding on to the point. Diva's immediately taking on Meg. Moira uses Fade and probably can't stay in the fight much longer. Hat comes out onto Minimax, who has Shatter. That should be a pretty decisive way to close out this fight. Doesn't even need it.
1 point on Lijiang so far. I expect 100-0 again. I think no more than 2 points on this map.
Yeah. Yeah. No. I mean, honestly, that was a pretty decisive performance. But you know, honestly, I think the Rhine map's probably going to favor Wisdom more, just because I think, frankly, the Rhine Zarya is not something I don't think I've ever seen EM run that well. I think their monkey comps have been a lot better. RQT on the Pharah is a much more carry potential kind of character than I can't remember if he was on Sombra or on Reaper in that last bit. I completely forgot. But on the side of Wisdom, they're on Shadow Dive, which is a brawl comp that, you know, basically utilizes just mobility characters to avoid getting caught out when the fight gets messy. So the team that doesn't have any support goes onto the White Room side. So honestly, you should expect Wisdom to play this really fast. Thai gets a huge hack on RQT, and this should just be easy feed in. Minimax goes all the way in and gets just obliterated. Didn't seem to coordinate with his team to push in there, but it still should be a fight win for Wisdom Academy. Huge attempt at a boop there from Zorthcon, who's getting a little caught out right now, but it still should be fine. They without I can't talk today. This fight's very messy. but it looks like Wisdom is stabilizing and getting kills that they need to clean it up.
One thing that I'm seeing right now is RQT is not getting a lot of damage out. They're playing mostly inside, Sombra going out to poke. Afera just isn't good against this team comp right now, especially how they're playing it. Just trying to go for a little bit of poke.
Absolutely, and I mean, part of the problem is that if Wisdom plays this correctly moving forward, they're going to immediately, the moment the forest splits off, oh, well, it doesn't matter, now it's a mirror, so this is going to be a lot different. You're going to see both teams play a lot slower. Generally, you have to wait for cooldowns to come out from one side or the other. Speeding comes in, a hack comes out, bomb out, finds Geekcake. Minimax also goes down to RQT because of the ult usage. Really good job from Edinburgh. And that's going to be Coalescence to try to guarantee the fight. Merlin finds Spongy Cheese. That's also Primal committed. Oh, Wisdom's committing bomb. Interesting. Pog gets Titanic. And it's just going to be Minimax on point fighting a Reaper and the whole team. And that's not going to work out very well. Geekcake stalling, just looking to get some extra value. Gets hacked, dies. And this is actually going to be a point flip for the side of EM.
Wisdom did commit bomb there, but now they're walking in with Sombra and Reaper ultimates. That is a team wipe with 30% more to go. This is approaching very near last fight territory. If they can cap quickly.
Yeah, I think they should. If they have EMP, they should just set up EMP, W in, maybe they use Blossom. There's the EMP, yep, and Blossom comes out, gets immediately 3, and that should be the team fight. They just need to make sure that the RQT goes down and they avoid losing anything else.
A very minimal stall there. Merlin was the last to die, but he was on for no more than 2 additional percents.
Yeah, and the big key here is that they still have beat. If Geekcake hides, this EMP should not get that much value for the side of EM.
He's currently hiding in the side room closer to Mega, and it looks like Edinburgh Monarchs coming in from White Room.
Yep, absolutely. They want to play backside of point here and not aggress too hard. Bubble comes out, EMP gets 3, but that should not do anything. Moneymax pops Primal and goes right in to split off everybody. Blossom comes out from RQT, doesn't find anyone. Good DM usage from Zorthcon. Vespi King gets DMAC'd, but that's the beat drop. It gets 4, which should be enough to maybe stabilize this fight, but Vespi King loses his mech, so it doesn't really make a difference. Merlin's popping Primal, looking to get anything he can. Doesn't find anything. Geekcake gets the kill on a Vespi King. Spongy finds RQT, and this should be all she wrote for Edinburgh, supposing they can clean up this monkey. And it looks like they should be able to. Bomb coming out on the point. Doesn't find anyone. Doesn't really matter. And that's map 1 for Wisdom Academy.
That was incredibly clean all around. Their ultimate combos were miles ahead of Edinburgh Monarchs. They EMP'd there in that last fight without Reaper already. It was at 97%. Here's this 4-man tire again.
Yeah, without Reaper ult, like that's... Yeah. Oh, it was really good.
That was...
Yeah, honestly, everybody in Wisdom doing a ton. The tank line looks really, really good. I think Mini's ending up in a really awkward spot, but I feel like that's communication issues. Yeah, so I think communication issues is the few times Wisdom looked kind of out of place. Like Mini would advance and just be absolutely caught out by the other side. And RQT is doing a good job of making sure he kills Winston just because it's the easiest matchup in the thing. But at the same time, everybody else on Wisdom is just pretty much owning their 1v1s. So I would probably describe this as nothing short of a domination of a first map. I guess there was 1 point flip at one point, and they got 30%.
That was 1 point flip, and Wisdom even overcommitted ultimates in a lost fight, but they still came back. They are just so much better than Edinburgh Monarchs in this first map. I don't know what else is gonna be shown here. They're going to Assault next. We're waiting on a map pick. It looks like Volskaya Industries.
Yes, sir. Now, Volskaya is interesting because you can run a lot of different stuff here. Zen Mercy snipers, or Zen Mercy like poke dive kind of stuff, where you play like a very passive dive to just do point contesting while your sniper characters try to get value. That's a pretty viable strategy on this map. You can run classic shadow dive here with like the comps we saw on Gardens. So there's some interesting stuff. You can go with a more traditional brawl. I think that's probably the weakest of the 3 options. For the defenders, for attacking, I feel unless this team has like a Widow specialist who actually is the best Widow in the division, and probably like rankable in Inter. I don't see them going for a Widow composition on offense or like a sniper composition on offense.
One thing I do see is I think they're gonna both try and run Sombra on attack at least. I'm not sure what they're gonna do for
For sure.
defense, but that Sombra hopping in the back line, going for these hacks, and they've been hitting them both sides.
No, absolutely. I absolutely agree with you about that. I'd be amiss to believe that they would not attempt to play the meta again. I think that's the thing that really does define the best teams in each division is how well do they run the meta compositions. I mean, certainly you see that in intermediate. I think you see it somewhat in advanced. I know you see it in novice because that's pretty much the majority of Wisdom's comps are centered around the meta. They have some other stuff because Titanic's a fairly flexible player who has enough DPS in his back pocket to run a bunch of different things. Spongy Cheese also, right? Nasty Widow, good Tracer, very good Ashe. So they have a lot of flexibility in what they run here. Edinburgh, on the other hand, I don't know what they're gonna do. I feel like they'll run the meta, but if they keep running the meta, I'm not convinced they're gonna win. I think the biggest issue is Thigh just gets infinitely more value than RQT on the Reaper, and also Spongy's Sombra's looked really, really good so far. Or sorry, other way around. Spongy's getting the value on. I'm getting everyone mixed up.
Spongy's getting value on Sombra. Titanic is the Reaper?
No, Thigh is the Sombra.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why I have it mixed up because they're both like. So Thig's a projectile player, and then Spongy's the hit scan. I getting this mixed up because our projectile player plays Reaper on my team, and our hit scan player plays Sombra.
Okay.
It's very weird. I hate it. It's like double hit scan meta is so hard to like just like for me to keep people straight. But Volskaya though is a pretty interesting map. I actually like it the most of the three maps in the pool in terms of like the interesting things you can do with it, particularly on first point.
We'll just have to wait and see what they pick. RQT might come out on a Pharah again. A Genji.
This Genji has to be a troll. This is a troll.
What about Titanic on the Pharah on defense right now?
No,
He's
this
flying
is what
out
I
of
was talking
spawn.
about. Like, so we talked about like poke comps, the poke dive. This is exactly that. They're just opting for an Ana over the Zen, which is fine, and it's a lot more forgiving than Zen is. But yeah, that like you're gonna look for a Minimax when he engages. He's gonna be engaging things Thigh is shooting at. Spongy's just gonna try to hold space and poke out supports to make it so they can't peek. This composition's fairly standard on this map in terms of like style. Like I think the only real deviation is again like Red Panda on the Ana is not as standard as running a Zenyatta here. But it makes a lot of sense. You're gonna run the pharmacy, the Ana's slightly better because she can help heal up the team more. Meanwhile, on offense, as predicted, Shadow Dive is out. The rush comp. Not really looking to dive, just looking to create opportunities for them to just roll onto a target. So you're going to see a lot of kiting from the side of Wisdom Academy until they get a good chance to get value. And Minimax gets a huge dive onto Pog, following up on a rocket. He needs to just... Oh, but he gets refragged by the D.Va. Zorthcon needs to get out, and again, you just need to buy time. Thigh finding another kill here is really big. Dive comes out from Merlin. They're now contesting point. They got to be careful here. Minimax is back, but this favors Wisdom. Everyone's kind of broke up and split, and just kind of doing their own thing, and now they got to go right back in.
Titanic already at Barrage. The highest ultimate is beat 60% on the side of Edinburgh Monarchs.
Zorthcon getting caught out here. He's gonna die probably to RQT on the Reaper. So now they got to be really, really careful, right? DM has to come out, but that's a dive coming in to protect Thigh. That was excellent coordination from the side of Wisdom Academy, and they get the res off too. Minimax probably biting off a little more than he can chew here. RQT is getting a ton of value, pushing right into this fight, but it's not going to matter because Thigh is still alive and uncontested.
They leave a yep. It looks like they are stalling her. at least for a little. Every second counts on 2 CP.
Oh yeah, no, I think they probably could have stalled a little more just because you got respawns coming back, but it's still fine. They're not going to be at that big a disadvantage. And they're doing an excellent job. You notice like Minimax is just looking for these key opportunities, and he's often trading his life, but he usually trades as a support, and so that's usually good enough. Thigh is doing a ton of work on this. The rotations from EM is just way too slow. Coalescence comes out. And that's going to be a dive into the back line here. And Minimax just takes Soldier for a ride. Beat comes out for the side of EM, and this fight's kind of all over the place. I'm surprised at how well this has turned out for the side of EM. Thai is just looking to do anything he can right now. He's about to have another barrage, but if that DM is up, it might not matter. They're playing slow here. They're looking to recontest last second. They just need to wait for the respawns. Minimax needs to back up and not die. That's the biggest thing. Big dive coming out. Gets two. Both the supports are down. Minimax is getting his own value. They have to deny Reaper, but it's not. It doesn't look like that will be the case. Minimax just getting out.
They are re-engaging.
This is really well done by the side of Wisdom. This forces out two more ults. Bomb comes out. Oh my goodness. Wisdom might still win this. Oh no, Panda goes down. This is probably gonna be it now. Finally, that long drawn out fight concluded. Wisdom almost clutching that. Really, really well done recontests, letting them get some ticks. Now
they did stall for about a minute, and they swapped off to this Shadow Dive comp. You know, it seems like they were going to swap off anyway, so why not re-engage with ults?
No, absolutely. It was really, really well done, and this is where Wisdom's really going to flex. That's a huge pick coming out on the Diva mech. Coalescence comes out, but it may not be enough. Spongie's pushed up a little too far, has to use Fade to get away. But Lucio's in the back line, hacked. He's 1 HP and gets away. Minimax falls to Coalescence. This is actually kind of losable for Wisdom if they're not careful. They really need to stabilize. Okay, getting Diva out of mech there again while she's hacked was absolutely huge. Vi is doing just so much work on this Sombra, dude.
So Edinburgh Monarchs. Oh, you go ahead.
Oh no, I was just saying credit to them for disengaging there. I thought they were gonna like commit to that fight, and they disengaged kind of clean. What were you gonna say? Go ahead.
I was gonna say Edinburgh Monarchs switched over to the Soldier to try and kind of mirror against Spongy Cheese, and then as soon as they did that, Titanic and Spongy Cheese switched over to the Shadow Dive, and now they are like getting ults far before the Monarchs, and they're looking for this Sombra Reaper combo again.
Yep, bomb comes out, finds nothing. Soldier's kind of off on his own. Coalescence is keeping people up. Huge kill from Minimax onto the Moira. He goes in again, looking to find Young, I don't know how to say that, Youngzu? And that's going to be Wisdom Academy cleaning up this fight. It's very spread out, but I mean, it doesn't really matter. It's clean up. You commented about the alt charge situation. I'm gonna say this, right? The reason they went to Soldier, I mean, it wasn't so much to mirror. Mirroring's in bonus. It was more to help pressure Pharah, right? The issue really ended up being that the Sombra wasn't getting enough value. The thing, and this is really a mark that they don't know how to run the meta composition very well. When I see Pharah's run in organized play against this composition, you just W key into the 4 people on the ground, and the Pharah usually can't get enough value. So now they aren't doing enough because they don't have the same ability to just win the fight for free with a hack, right? Like their tanks are completely safe to do whatever they want because there's no threat that they just have all their cooldowns taken away from them. But this is going to be engaged from Merlin. Bomb goes in. It finds Dragon, which is huge, but oh no. Coalescence comes out. All the ults from Edinburgh come out. And this might be a lost fight for Wisdom, and this might be the second point. Minimax needs to try to live in touch point. He does. Beat comes out a second too late. Geek is touching and contesting. They're going to look to use Death Blossom. Doesn't get anything. Beats out. Zorthcon on the ball for stall. And you see Minimax swap to the Rhine. This is to potentially get a shatter and clutch out. But I don't know. This is pretty rough for the side. Oh, big pin! Minimax immediately dying, though. Paying with his life. Bomb comes out, and this is going to be all she wrote. Ember looking better.
That was a clean fight. That was a little late on that Lucio ult from Dragon, but Wisdom Academy could not get any value out of their ults. I don't want to call it individual players, but Spongy Cheese and Titanic, I'm going to call them out anyways, both messed up their teleports on the point. It seems like a little state of panic was coming into Wisdom. They didn't expect Monarchs to get that far. You know, Sombra messed up the teleporter throw.
Yeah.
And then Titanic stood in place. No, Titanic was a Sombra. Spongy Cheese stood in place. with just teleporting 3 feet in front of him. And he could have gotten so much more value had he gone in the back line to take out that Lucio with his ultimate first.
Yeah, this is one of the issues, though, of course, with 2CP, right? Like, as they adjust it and everything. So, Edinburgh did, like, one of those things that I would call, like, I don't want to call it a bad win, but it's like an awkward win, right? It's not one that really marks their ability to control team fights or their ability to manage ult economy. They just stacked 5 ults and then won, right? Whereas if their mid fight was better, they wouldn't have had to do that. But obviously, when 5 ults comes out, it's a lot harder, especially if you use those 5 ults very aggressively, the way that Edinburgh did. It's a lot harder for the other team to respond. And I think it's really the story of that last fight. But, credit to them. They didn't get caught out by EMP. They didn't get caught out by Blossom. Everyone did what they needed to. Vespi King, DM was really, really good. So, Wisdom actually have to, like, really, really plan out what they have. And you see them coming out on Shadow Dive, and you see EM staying on the Shadow Dive with a Soldier, which I still think is weird, because Soldier is like the antithesis of what this comp is trying to do. And so now it means there's going to be a 5v6, so they should just push right in here with DM. Well, RQT is just pounding Mini, doesn't seem to be getting much value. Oh, but that's a huge DMAC for the side of Wisdom Academy. And so now they have the high ground and positioning. Titanic is farming away. And that's the other thing, too. Like, you notice Thai just playing with the team. He's just there to farm. You'll see a lot of his TPs are relatively close, too. But, wow, Soldier is doing all this work.
It's Youngsu with a Mercy Pocket. He's already at his ultimate, and right now he's just spot checking. He knows what his job is. Stay on the high ground, get damage in while his team dies.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it really boils down to 2 things. The supports their individual positioning needs to be about perfect to avoid getting farmed if Youngsu, I don't know, I think that's how I say it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm gonna say. Youngsu, is doing his job. He'll be targeting them. So they need to really be playing their positioning well. This is a good opportunity for Wisdom to engage with jump and some aggressive dive tactics, because again, they should know that they're pretty free to do this. And that's the dive coming out. Visor comes out from behind. RQT finds Spongy. That's a huge pick. But that's a huge boop from Zorthcon. Geek guys to RQT. Not ideal at all. Reaper no Wraith. They need to do something. Panda gets out. Coalescence. Is this winnable for Wisdom? They need to win this fight. That was a massive. And Zorth finds Merlin. Mini and Blau.
You are lagging a little bit, so we're missing some of what you're saying.
And that's another fight win for EM. Oh.
That's fine. I think we're good now.
Yeah, I apologize. Internet Gilbert. I don't usually have this problem.
It might be me. Well, who knows?
Who knows indeed.
I heard it too.
Okay.
Got it.
That was you. Thank you, Abraxas.
Interesting. For clarifying that. Alright, now ult economy wise, it's actually not as bad as Wisdom as we thought. There's just Valk and Primal for the other side of EM. And they have, Zorthcon has Bomb. I would love to see Bomb to clear out high ground here. But instead they're letting Merlin dive in on them, which is not like the worst. Primal comes out, Bomb gets slid out. That's huge Bomb. Finds 2! Massive Bomb for Wisdom Academy. Vespi King gets DMEC'd here. RQT is off on an island. He's getting focused down by Spongy. It's just Mercy and Baby Diva and Youngsu alive. And Youngsu's in the middle of the team, gets trapped in that little room and just ends up getting killed. And that was a really clean team fight for the side of Wisdom.
Yeah, that bomb at the beginning of the fight taking out 2, I don't think there was any way they could lose that fight. Because that Diva's immediately going to remech, even if Youngsu did have his ultimate with a hard Mercy Pocket. Yeah, a defense matrix will negate anything he can do. So I think that's who they're going to be diving first here, knowing he's coming up on that ultimate.
Diving. Oh, wow, they do dive, Soldier. I guess they just zone him. They're looking to get this fight on. They have to kill RQT first if they can. Visor comes back out. Diva flies right at him, but the rest of the team is going to do enough. And that's going to be a fight win for the side of EM. All right, this is a match.
Oh yeah. At this point, it's either a Monarchs win or they go and try and cap again.
Yeah, absolutely. And
both exciting things to watch.
No, 100%. And EM is doing a lot of really good things. They understand their win condition really well. Youngsu is playing really decent positioning. Realize it, like, you know, and he's abusing the fact that he knows that Minimax can't actually commit to fighting him. Because if he does that, then you're taking the main tank out of the fight for too long. Minimax recognizes this and has to come back, and then Youngsu just turns around and is like, haha, my ult. But it looks like right now Merlin's getting caught out. He's won. And this is going to be the side of Wisdom pushing straight in. Jump comes out. Minimax is pushed down. He's about to get caught out here. He has Primal, so he's going to be alright. Jumps up, is looking to get RQT split. Blossom comes out. Merlin dies to Zorthcon. Coalescence for the side of EM comes out. And Minimax is split off. Fine Soldier. Zorthcon gets demeched though. I don't know if this is winnable for the side of Wisdom. It's close.
Nope.
D.Va gets demeched. She has Bomb. And uses that for a second life. And yeah, another very good fight win for the side of EM.
They did use D.Va Bomb and RQT's Reaper ult. And now Titanic and Spongy Cheese are going to be looking for the Sombra Reaper combo. And if they can get it, that's going to be a clean enough wipe to maybe cap the point outright, no stall. But it's going to be tough with Monarchs playing on the high ground like this, playing around Youngsu. And also Dragoon hiding in the back line on a help back.
If Zorthcon's good enough at Bomb, he can place Bomb right on top of the high ground and clear it out. That's probably what they're looking, or they can just path up through there, and that's where they're looking to take their fight. They should just W key here, but they back up. EMP comes out, gets at least 5. Beat comes out though, and it negates most of the value, although Pog is the one who went down. This is a very winnable fight for the side of Wisdom Academy. Spongy is taking Narnia into the mini room, but that doesn't seem to matter as the kills are coming in for the side of Wisdom Academy. And that's going to be a pretty clean fight win, and they might get more time here. But they're
I don't think they will, because they will be coming up with Stall Youngsu running in, and then Merlin on ball. He'll be here, but it will be very close.
Yeah, absolutely. As long as it doesn't go to overtime, they got to kill Deep quickly. Reaper needs to die. This is a really good bomb potentially. Wow, Pog doesn't die to the bomb, which is crazy. Soldier comes back with sights. They really need to win this before overtime hits. Merlin's won. He gets cleaned up as well. Now, this is a really good stall from EM. They're rotating people quite well. Oh no!
Will they get it?
Oh,
they just got it. They just got that.
Goodness.
That was so close. I couldn't.
Oh, I saw it talking. It was so
my heart,
intense.
man. That was.
Oh my lord. All right.
The one thing I gotta say, Wisdom played that wonderfully at the end there. They had good combos, but you know, 2 CP stall. There's nothing you can do to completely negate it.
No, 100%. I think, well, I mean, but you gotta give credit to EM. That was a very, very good stall. Like, the coordination on it was quite good. You could tell they were calming. Hey,
one in at a time, coming in with ultimates.
One out. One in, one out, one in, one out, and it was obviously coordinated really, really well. So EM really showing that they could challenge. They could challenge Wisdom, which I don't think anybody really thought was going to be a thing. And I certainly was ready to call the match after that first map we saw where
they were so dominant. It seems like this is just not their game mode. You know, we've only seen this once before in week 1, because of course maybe week 2 as well, or week 3. But they've only played 2 CP twice overall, while they've played a lot of control. You know?
Yeah, 100%. And you know, the one thing about TCP is it really will expose the weaknesses that each team has, and I will definitely say, just based on what I'm seeing out of Wisdom, their mid fight is not as clean as it needs to be. And this mostly starts with Minimax. I think he's getting caught out a little too much. And you know, it's just one of those things.
It looked like Wisdom is rotating around the Youngsu Soldier pick. They know what Monarch's win condition is, and they're trying to zone him out again.
Yeah, this is an interesting jump that baits in their aggression, but it's just going to be Minimax getting farmed. He needed to jump back up onto high ground, but they trade out D.Va Max. Spongy finds Merlin. Oh, but that's going to be a quick fight win. They have to die quickly here to get to be able to touch.
Sombra does get out.
Yeah, and Vespi King does not have his mech. He might get it before the next fight starts. He's spamming for it. Thai is rotating around to the backside. They got to make sure they get somebody to touch here. Looks like they have most of the team. Zorthcom's getting poked pretty hard here. Minimax jumps over the top. Titanic dying is a huge loss. Spongy's going to have to absolutely obliterate here. Moira is split off. Red Panda is off on his own. Both the tanks are down. Wisdom, this might be a draw.
It might be a draw. It might be a Monarch win. With how dominant they are playing on this first point, I think they could very realistically capture this at a minute 37, especially after learning what they have on the first fight.
Yeah, so the one thing, so you know how we talked about like poke comps and everything early in the cast? So like this is the thing. The reason I'm calling out Wisdom's mid fights because the only way you beat like this kind of setup, Soldier specifically, right? Pharah's a little different. You can just W key into whatever position the rest of the characters are playing in if they have a Pharah. But since they're on Soldier, who can play like much more safe angles and rotate to his team if he needs to and do all this other stuff, basically the problem ends up being that you have to have basically perfect pathing, and it's Novice, so it can be very, very difficult for this. And you see Wisdom kind of acknowledging that a little bit. They go to they're doing what they did on first point last time. Hopefully they can replicate the defense from Edinburgh. Mini needs to really also value his own life more. I thought the feeding days are behind for Mini, but he's kind of sus right now. He might be the imposter.
Yeah, on that last point, he did try and jump up onto Youngsu, but he just a little bit short. Drop in the bubble, very quickly dies when you have a pocketed soldier.
Yeah, and Vespi King just like dove him, right? Like, and the shotguns to Winston head do a ton of damage. So Thai is looking to do what Thai does, play far. This should be pretty good against the Reinhardt coming out from the side of EM. This is really, really good. If Mini doesn't chase too hard, he'll be fine. But good rotation from EM. Reaper's all the way out in the flank. Gonna beat back up with his team. They're going basically the same pathing as Wisdom. Antinade gets blocked from Merlin, really, really good. Zorthcon commits, so that means Minimax has to commit, and that's gonna be the tanks picking up 2 kills. Thai dies? Thai? RQT trying to deny res. Geekate gets it. Oh my, that res was goated. That was insane. And that's gonna be a clean fight win for the side of Wisdom Academy.
It wasn't that clean. They did have to use res, and Titanic is coming up on ult, but I think at this point in the first round, he already had it. I think he already had it in Wipe too, but he is gonna have it for this next fight.
I'll be real with you. The reason I call it clean is like honestly, at that point the fight was already over.
Yeah.
Like Thai's res was irrelevant. It was insane they got it off, but it was pretty good. I don't know why Thai died though. That was
it was Youngsu focusing him down, and it seems like the soldier is doing his job here, taking down the Pharah, denying position.
He killed himself.
He was already so low. He was just trying to rocket jump back up.
Huge barrage. Gets the main tank. All you really need in this spot. Valkyrie is out. Tanks are out, and it looks like we're gonna go to a tied map here. Although it could be, it is losable for the side of Wisdom. Mini is just trying to zone out the soldier. Doesn't do enough. Oh my goodness, is this gonna be a clutch?
A Youngsu 4K. They do not get the res off. He gets 5 of 6 kills, giving Monarch the win on Volskaya. I want
stats.
That was a wonderful fight. That was amazing to watch.
They took a map. Uh-oh. Yeah, I gotta see this play, bro.
I think, yeah, what we all expect it to be. Him just getting his ultimate first, and them not diving him. They were just trying to hide on the high ground, getting ready for Spongy Cheese to do the exact same thing. But Youngsu was just a few seconds faster, and that's all that matters in 2CP. Just a few seconds.
That's crazy. RQT with the 50 elim game. That's crazy. This game was crazy. This map was crazy. So, I mean, you gotta talk about it, right? Like, this all comes down to mid-fight stuff. A lot of it, anyway. And in that moment, like, really, Minimax is being caught out for, like, his little mistakes there. Whereas other spots he wouldn't. Like, he had the visor, like we saw it in the play, right? He had the visor under control, but then he let the soldier get past him, and then he just obliterated 3 characters. So I'm sure the conversation is going to be, hey, you have to play a little bit more controlled. You know, and understand your win condition in your role, right? I think a lot of times Winston's, they can get overexcited. They use their jump in a bad spot, like either feeding or in this case, just like missing the target that they need to contain, right? Because that's the real thing. Visor gets countered by Primal mostly because you're able to take up the bullet. You can bullet soak, right? So, you know, Youngsu just getting past him and just, you know, going for the squishy targets was really, really good, and it ultimately led to EM win, and we're here tied 1-1.
1-1, Wisdom Academy losing their first map in League 0 Season 3.
Yeah, that's actually wild. Like, I didn't think they were going to lose. I'll like, no cap. I just did not think they were going to lose the map this season. They looked
too dominant.
They just did. Like, and EM had a lot of big claims about being capable of playing with them, and I think a lot of us didn't take it seriously, primarily because they were dropping maps to, frankly, inferior teams.
Whether or not they lose this match it matters so little. You know, one of the top teams has to lose in the end, and if it's
100%.
Edinburgh Monarchs, that's fine. But they showed that Wisdom Academy is not invincible here.
They made them bleed. They drew blood.
And that's, I think, is going to give other teams an opportunity to take them down. And I do believe they play each other again. Only 6 teams in Novice during the season.
Yeah, so whenever they get to pool play or whatever we're calling it, I'm sorry, I'm forgetting what we call it.
I think it's
Swiss?
Yeah, Swiss bracket, maybe at the end of the season. And you do expect them to play each other if they're both still dominant in the league.
I 100% expect that to be the case. Wisdom now, though, gets map pick, which is crucial. They select Hollywood, which is a fun map because there's a lot of different looks you can give it. And with the recent buff, Brawl gets... sorry, not buff, the buff to the elevators. The elevator buff is really, really interesting because what it does is it makes it so that Brawl can, like, actually contest high ground for not free, but kind of free, which has traditionally been the strength of Hollywood. If you want to run something like more divey or like non-brawly, you could just sit up on high ground and, you know, what is the team below you going to do, right? So
and all that changed with the change in map.
Yeah, 100%.
We see, I don't think any changes coming out from either team. So still Minimax on tank. I wonder what they're gonna play here. Probably maybe a Ryan Zarya. It does look like they are attacking first. But that wasn't up to them. Edinburgh Monarchs got the map 100%. Win, so they get the side pick. And they pick defense. They want defense first.
Yeah, I mean, traditionally, right, you don't want them setting the tone for how the map will go, and defense is a lot easier to set the tone for the map, right? Full holding on A is very, very backbreaking, just because, like, in addition to the fact it's just difficult to overcome that situation because you have to match them, like, mentally it's a little taxing. I think the big adjustments really do have to come out of Minimax. I think he's really just demonstrated to be the weak link at the moment, and I'm saying that as somebody who, you know, has worked with him a couple times, somebody who, like, definitely thinks has potential to be one of the best tanks in this division. Just, it's clear in this situation where the DPS are much better at punishing his aggression, like, he's not getting it done.
I think he has to be one of the best tanks in the division. You can't go 3-0 with a bad tank, but he's meeting a matchup that he needs to play a little bit differently now.
Yeah, he needs to, like, again, like, I think he knows how to play correctly. I think he's just been able to be more aggressive up to this point. And, like, in reality, now he needs to try to curb that aggression. He's had good moments, right? On Lijiang, like, I mean, some of the plays he's hitting are, like, I mean, they're pretty clean. Like, the short pins are pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
Counter pins are really good. So maybe it's a Ryan thing versus Winston thing. I think Winston, he just isn't used to playing around Reaper. He uses cooldowns a little aggressively. And yeah, look, we're gonna see a different look coming out for the side of Wisdom. Although they could change it, they might be going, no, if eyes on Reaper, that means Spongy is definitely on this creep, most likely.
Youngsu found his pick, this soldier, especially with some high ground on this first point. They're gonna try and play this same strat that they've shown to work.
Yeah, certainly for Novice, I think, like, the win condition understanding isn't quite where it needs to be, right? Like, everyone's playing, like, very, very slow. Against a soldier, you gotta play very, very fast. And that's kind of been, that's why I say, like, Wisdom's mid-fight has not been fast enough to deal with this. And I think the Rhine will help stabilize that a little. If you want to play slower, the Rhine works out pretty well because the shield strength's better. And also you have Spongy on Kree now who can contest the Soldier.
Oh yeah,
So
no
now,
Pharaoh to get contested against, and that's primarily why they switched onto the Soldier in the first place.
Oh, they're going right on the point. But Vespi King picks Spongy Cheese. Mini has to turn his back, and the pathing is interesting. Dragon, though, falling to Thigh late. Thigh in the back line. This could be an interesting clutch-up moment. No, everyone's gonna die here. Thigh just looking to farm his ult a little bit. Ends up falling. I can't imagine why that pathing was that way. That was interesting. Deciding to walk right in to the enemy team and just, you know, a team that wants to get in your face anyway, did not seem like the greatest. Although they were trying to play faster, which is good. They needed to path and take away certain things. This is much better. They're going up to the high ground this way. This is going to protect Spongy, and it also takes away a lot of sight lines from the Soldier. So now you're going to see the side of EM Kite and
looks like they're gonna build their shield back up before they engage on point. Youngsu still on high ground now with the ultimate coming up.
Coalescence comes out. Everyone's in this tiny room. Ryan with the pin misses it. They're kind of broke up right now, but it shouldn't matter. Zorthcon gets demech though, which is a huge loss. But Spongy finds Dragon, which is huge. RQT with a massive Blossom. That both DPS ults committed though.
That was DPS and Merlin's Winston ultimate.
Oh, and also the Coalescence. We can't forget that either. And
well, I've forgotten it was already on 33 backup. Just how fast Coalescence builds. I expect it to be ready by the end of this fight, but you know that is skill to get it up that fast.
No, 100%. So now we're gonna see them probably take similar pathing. Once they get in, really this is going to come down to tank survivability, because that's really been the difference so far. RQT using his Wraith form very, very early there was exposed, but they don't get any value out of that. They're going to probably look to set up a high noon here, I would imagine. But they're just kind of chilling out here. Minimax drop. Big slam comes in. High noon comes out as well. Bomb's going to get Spongy, but Spongy finds two. Bomb comes out. DMX, Vespi King. This should be a fight win for the side of Wisdom Academy. And yeah, it's just cleanup. Really well done from Wisdom.
The Vespa King had the right idea. Throw the bomb up, deny Spongy Cheese's high noon, but he got it off quick enough. You know, it's all a matter of timing. He knew he was gonna die, but he knew he could take the Mercy and Soldier down with him.
Spongy actually almost got away too, which is even crazier.
Oh yeah.
He was falling, and that bomb is like a half second slower. Spongy gets away while getting to and trading with bomb. Really, really well done though. Well worth spending the life. At minimum, it would have pushed them into bad positions, and honestly, the tank would have been able.
But the high tank didn't even need to use his Reaper ult. He's now trying to find a spot to use it before. I guess trying to play around the D.Va. They don't have any support ultimates to deny it.
Monkey's committed. Red Panda pops Coalescence, is trying to keep everybody up and do some damage. Zorthcon is pressuring out Youngsu. Youngsu dies to the hammer. RQT finds Thigh, and that's a big loss. Big pin coming out from the side of Minimax, and Minimax is doing a lot of work on this Reinhardt. Hammer swinging out. Oh no,
I was on Spongy Cheese's point or perspective there. He is hitting these shots perfectly. Just denying a Reaper ult without a flashbang and getting a headshot onto their healer. It's great to see in a novice game, nonetheless.
Oh yeah. So the one thing about Wisdom Academy is littered with former teammates of mine. Phi, Zorthcon, and Spongy have all played with the different points, and Spongy's just an absolutely cracked aimer. As good as you have in the novice division. Huge bomb coming out from the side from Zorthcon. Thigh finds two with his ultimate, and Zorthcon with the cheeky D-mech with his mech. Spongy T's cleaning that up.
It seems like Minimax knew what he was doing wrong. Now on that Reinhardt to start that fight out, I'm pretty sure he got a 4-man shatter. I switched to it right after, so I'm not sure exactly what was happening, but I see him lying on the ground and I see him swinging his hammer.
Yeah, 100%. Oh, attempting the pin there, but this is really good from Wisdom. Push up while the door animation's going through. Try to get some picks. Don't find anything, but you at least deny map control. Yeah, and they're just gonna try to live on this little point, but Wisdom, I'm sorry, EM just, oh, what is this pin? B comes out super late. Not gonna be good enough. That Wisdom's gonna have to kite here. Coalescence doing a ton of work, and that's gonna be a fight win for EM. Oh no, High Noon coming out. Is Wisdom gonna try to clutch this?
That just zoned them all back. They didn't want to commit shield to that.
Good block from Minimax on the bomb, and this is going to be a good opportunity to push back in. Ults were traded back and forth, and that's going to be Wisdom's Coalescence from Red Panda. Also played with him, very decent, very good flex support in the Novice division. They get the kill on a Merlin, and that's going to be pretty tough for EM to recover from. EM's probably going to look to recontest last second here. That's why they disengaged. That's the main thing I'm impressed with EM. Their disengages are really good. They very rarely overcommit bodies. And that's something that's hard to find. And that's going to be Visor coming out for the side of EM, and there's Youngsu just trying to ignore everything and get value. Zorthcon sacrificing the mech to try to prevent Youngsu from getting value, but he kills Spongy. B comes out. Minimax with a huge slam, finds 2. And that might be enough. Pog is 1 on the point. Uses Fade to get away, but he's still in the middle of them.
Titanic with
Minimax,
ultimate now?
Yeah, I mean... all the ults coming out, but it's not gonna matter. Bomb forces Merlin back, and RQT finds 2, gets booped away. He used used Wraith, but now he has a support there too. But it's still winnable for Wisdom. That's Coalescence. And this is just cleanup for Wisdom, but again, you're seeing the excellent stall tactics coming out from the side of EM, but it's not gonna matter.
I would say they did get about an extra minute there.
No, they did. The stalls
which is
were
really good, you know, coming from a down fight to come back like that.
Oh,
The
100%.
RQT ultimate did get 3 there. It just wasn't enough with that Reinhardt and D.Va still alive.
Yeah, and like, let's not understate it. Like Minimax, he turned it up for this part of the series. He played much better than he did the previous even 2 maps. I think he's playing better than he did on Lijiang. Lot less feeding. He had a couple bad moments there, but like he really turned it up. Much more competitive with Merlin. And you love to see it. You love to see those adjustments, especially from a player in the Novice division. And this is what we should expect, right? I guess these are the best teams. Like, you know, a lot of the players, you know, since they have gotten drafted, have been climbing, working on their game a ton, and Wisdom, you know, that's kind of their trademark, developing some of these newer players.
Yeah, Wisdom Academy, they're training them up to be, I'd say, better than a lot of intermediate teams. Easily.
Certainly at least one. Certainly at least one. You know, I don't know. Maybe we should get the bench Wisdom Academy show match to go down. That'd be a fun time. No, and I mean it's super cool to watch. I mean, I know a lot of players on this team, and they're a good group of guys. And I mean, it's EM though, to their credit, is playing this really close, and they've really shown like some really smart play. And you see them rolling out in Shadow Dive, and you see again the side of Wisdom opting for kind of like a poke-centric composition on defense, especially on these control point style things. Thai going to meet the entire group of the enemy team, uses Wraith form, realizes that might not have been the best idea. Dynamite comes out, finds at least 1 it seems. And you're going to see EM rotate all the way to the back side of the map. And this is just to get an angle on the Spongy. Spongy gets away. Vespi King though is separated, and Spongy might die to Vespi King, and does, but Minimax finds the kill on the Merlin, so this is a good trade for the side of Wisdom. But they have to make sure RQT does not get too much value, and Minimax ends up feeding. And this fight is way too close, but Spongy's up, and that's a massive ante. They can actually win this. Vespi King gets demaxed. Red Panda is just uncontested. Red Panda and Spongy just are out here fragging. Holy. But the fight's still winnable for the side of EM. They now have their monkey back, and Red Panda might fall here. Yep, that's Dragon finding the kill onto him. Geekcake is in half, needs to get away, but is hacked. But Spongy, if he can just live, he can get bomb here, and that might be worth. But no, he falls before he can use it. And now you're going to see the tanks in Titanic come back on a point. EMP comes out though, and this is probably going to be all she wrote for this first point. Bomb coming out. They should just look to die and reset. Yep.
Yeah. A 1 minute 30 cap time for Edinburgh Monarchs. That's exciting. I think, first point sets the tone for the rest of this round. And although Red Panda and Spongy Cheese were getting picks, they couldn't do anything to win the fight.
Yeah, it really boiled down to Spongy needing to live long enough to get Bob out, right? Bob's
And he was
actually
so
very,
close.
very
He was
efficient.
95%
Yeah.
right when he died after the first res. But he's got it now. They might do an early engage on this
I mean, like
long...
they have to, because they need to get to the point where they mirror, right? They gotta get 3 people switched up so they can actually mirror this. Minimax is in an interesting spot. And this is what Wisdom's trying to do, just abuse high ground. Oh, but Minimax hard engages, he needs help! And that's an Nano coming out, which is a good call. Vespi King gets the Max Pog Dragon, which is massive. EK going for res, hits it off on Titanic, and this is gonna be a fight win for Wisdom. But Coalescence is committed. Bob is now forced out, so now you're gonna see what I was talking about. Like, oh no, Hack comes out onto Bob because Bob was shooting somebody besides the Sombra. But Bob still finds it, and that's gonna be a 4K for Titan. Ugly fight, but it goes to the side of Wisdom Academy.
At Vespa King remix there, that was a risky play. He got knocked down to half health from Titanic, already back up 22% to his ultimate. That wasn't the cleanest fight, They had delayed Edinburgh Monarchs, but still took Titanic's Reaper ult to wipe them cleanly.
No, absolutely. And you see them slowly transitioning, right? They got off the Ana, and that's pretty much because they're planning to mirror for the second portion of this map. Big miss from Merlin. That triggers Minimax to get onto the point to contest. He pops Bubble, and then uses his ultimate. Gets up in the air while being hacked, which is huge. So now he's in safety. Zortkon's going to pay with his mech, though. And then you're going to see Mini try to go back down and contest, but he's under a ton of pressure. The Reaper is getting too much value. And RQT finds Minimax, Pogs finds Red Panda, and Merlin finds Zortkon. And this is probably going to be a hard reset inside Wisdom Academy. Spongy, though, finding Merlin.
Yeah.
Spongy might not switch now because he has Bob.
Yeah. Spongy picked off Vespa King, remeching that fight, and then took out Merlin. 1 or 2 more picks. And if he had Bob, once again, 95 right as he died, if he had Bob, that could have been Edinburgh Monarchs' fight to lose.
Reaper gets forced out early. They need to actually go and touch.
They have Bob to touch here.
Point. Yep, and Bob comes out. And Bob is getting a ton of value here. He's being pretty much completely uncontested. But Dragon finds Red Panda, and Minimax falls. But Bomb coming out from the side of Wisdom doesn't get anything. Minimax gets res. Reaper does not have Wraith form, and that's going to be Thigh popping his Wraith form. Bomb is thrown at a very unfortunate time when you need DM. And that pretty much gives Thigh a 3K. Oh no. And Wisdom's going to set up for this next fight.
Wisdom is setting up a fight, making them use cooldowns, then Titanic comes in to clean up.
Yeah, and I think you can't call it anything but a misplay, like the throwing a bomb when you have to DM the Blossom from the side of SP King.
They just might not be ult tracking as much as they need to.
Yeah, very possible as well. EMP comes out, and this is what you expect. This should be a fight win for the side of EM. Pretty easy. Thigh is about to fall. Doesn't. RQT pops Blossom in the middle of the team, but Red Panda with a big coalescence, and Spongy finding Pog. The supports are down. This is a winnable for Wisdom. That was actually insane. The fact that he did not die to EMP there was crazy.
One thing I see watching these fights is they're doing this Sombra Reaper combo, but they always second guess themselves right before they use Reaper's ult. You can push up into the Diva. Defense Matrix only lasts that long, but what they do is they give supports time to use abilities, time to use ultimates after they've been hiding. But if they just used it immediately, they could get 1 or 2 picks and win the fight just based off those.
And here's the fight starting. Tanks contesting the cart. Titanic is under a lot of pressure. Has to use his Wraith form to get out and stabilize. Bob on the point though. It does hit somebody, and Vespi King is getting pressured very, very hard. Bob is just pounding in tons and tons of damage, but there comes Coalescence. And another bomb coming out from both Divas. Both bombs get 2, but the supports are the ones that go down for the side of EM, and this should be a winnable for Wisdom Academy. EMP comes out, but it might be too little too late if Panda just lives, but Panda does not live. Spongy Cheese and Thigh have to clutch it out. They have to kill this Winston. Oh my goodness.
Wisdom Academy did have spawn advantage there. They did not lose the important players in that fight.
No, they didn't, and I just gotta say it. That last bit probably was DPS diff. Like, Thigh and Spongy were touted as the best DPS in the league after draft. Like, pretty much everyone said they are gonna be the best. And you know, sometimes we get these things wrong, but I don't think we got it wrong here with Wisdom's DPS line, as we see the 4K coming out from Titanic. Wow, this is a
match.
Barn burner. This is a barn burner, man. Like, I mean, that was close. That's about as close as it can be. The defense was so much better. Wait, they just did.
Next map
hybrid,
is
and
not
they did,
Assault.
No, Escort.
Abraxas, our host, having a stroke. Hope he's doing well. We're getting it figured out. Teams know what they need to play. You know, you don't see them go into map 4 very often. Wisdom never been to a map 4 before. This is uncharted territory.
This is uncharted territory. Yeah, no, absolutely. Have they played Escort all season? Because I know
they have. The map pool does rotate, so they must have at least played Escort twice so far.
Okay, so let's think about this. If I'm Edinburgh, what am I picking?
Let's go through what they could pick right now.
I believe it's Rialto,
Gibraltar,
Dorito, and
and Dorado, yes.
I call it Dorito. You can't stop me. Anyway, but I digress. So, based on what I've seen, they like the poke comps a lot more. EM does. I think they look a lot better on them than they do on the meta comps. Although at the same time, they obviously rolled Wisdom, but that was because Wisdom was opting into. Well, when I say rolled, they had a very good attack on Hollywood. But it is Dorito that comes out, and so like I think that means the Monarchs are. I don't think they're gonna play meta on this map, and I don't think Wisdom Academy is gonna play the meta either. I think we're very likely to see some combination of Ashe Pharah or Widow Pharah with dive tanks, with Red Panda on the Ana and Geekcake on the Mercy. I think that's probably what would happen. I think on the other side, EM, they're gonna be on their Soldier hybrid comp that kind of mirrors the meta, but like opts for the Soldier pocket.
Yeah.
But you know, I could be wrong. Maybe they want to play meta here. I feel like though if they wanted to play meta, they would have selected Rialto. Because you know, ultimately, like we're just talking about Reinhardt comps that just choose to run Winston instead.
Yeah. I think we're definitely gonna see a Soldier pick. Every single point of Dorado, every single stretch does have at least some amount of high ground.
It does.
Second point does have the most. But on defense, that Soldier can do work if Minimax isn't diving correctly. I think they know.
Wait, is Alpha on Wisdom? Wait, what? Alpha's in Wisdom Academy?
Maybe just as a coach?
No, they said Alpha for Spongy. Hello? Is he eligible?
That's up for Abraxas to decide.
I need to double check. I just may have missed it, and I'm gonna go back and check Novice announcements. Hello?
Let me check the team rosters here. I should have those up.
Nope. Yeah, this happened on the 13th. Is he eligible? He's not eligible.
4 days, or did he get picked up?
So the announcement was on 10/13. Yeah.
23:31, as I'm seeing it, military time.
Yeah, so then, like, what's the rule? I thought it was, like, a whole week.
So was he picked up as a free agent, a latecomer, or traded from another team?
He wasn't traded from another team. He's a free agent, and this issue was because he tried for Enter first and then didn't get picked up, and then he got put down, I think, is my understanding.
I honestly have no idea. I think if he was
I'm just gonna
not a
put it in match
latecomer,
chat and ask.
not a latecomer, and
But
he had
he.
done his pugs already,
Oh, okay.
so
So
he
that's
just
how that
wasn't
works.
drafted, and he's
Yeah,
probably
yeah. Okay,
he.
then he's fine.
I'm just assuming he is a veteran, so he has played
He
before.
is a veteran. He's a veteran. He
Okay.
played in Novice last season. He was on Plat Chat, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Oh yeah,
that's what's up.
Alpha would be ineligible to play this week.
He would,
He
but
would.
he's. Not a latecomer because he did his.
Oh.
I'm
So
asking. This is a real question. Let
this
me
is
rephrase that.
kind of not my territory.
This is a shunned question.
Yeah.
This
I'm gonna just put it in match chat because Navino probably knows. He probably just forgot if he's trying this. We just are getting this cleared up.
yeah,
I don't
maybe
suspect
maybe a
anyone
little bit
intentionally is
delay.
making
We
this.
are coming up on 5 minutes, but I'm
But
fine waiting a little longer. I want to make sure this match is
okay.
completely fair.
Yeah, I'm gonna double check the rulebook. It probably is fine if what they're saying is true.
Yeah.
Based on the fact that Hamtaro is also backing this up, I would be
Navino.
amiss to.
So yeah, he was an undrafted
Yeah.
free agent, and that is different than a latecomer. I do believe.
I'm gonna triple check. I'm pulling up the rules now.
No, he didn't. I was
I'm
told
pulling up
he
the
wasn't
rules now.
by Zakaro.
Oh.
Okay. Navino straight already got permission, and that's wonderful. We love to see preemptive asking.
I mean, Navino's a pretty decent manager.
Yeah. Confirm. Yep.
Okay, yeah.
Navino,
Let me double check the rules.
he really
right.
doesn't want to forfeit this.
No, that's fair. No. I will. I'm literally in the rules right now. So give me a moment. Free agent.
We checking. Yep. We are checking right now. So it's Alpha Omega in for what was it? Spongy cheese. And yeah, I got a little confused. Brexis, the sides weren't switched for spectators.
Sorry, hold on.
I honestly felt like
I got it.
Go ahead,
A player must be signed at least 24 hours before a team's next scheduled game in order to play in the game. Otherwise, they must wait until next week's play.
That's good to hear. So that was 4 days ago. Coming up,
yeah,
like
exactly.
3 days, 10 hours. They probably haven't had a lot of scrim time, but he is eligible.
Yeah, I'm just double checking to make sure there's not any other clause I'm missing here. This means the full process. Okay, yeah, and the full process is obviously done because it was a novice announcement.
Yep.
If eligible, yeah, he's not a latecomer, so yeah, he's clear. He's clear. Just yeah, we are good. We literally, I've read the rule book. We're chilling.
All right.
So,
yeah.
All right, Alpha Omega. I mean, he had a nasty Widow. I think my prediction about the compositions they're gonna play is pretty spot on. I think we're gonna see the Pharmacy Widow play, or we're gonna see maybe an Echo, but I think Pharmacy's more likely. Oh yeah, I'll let him know.
So Wisdom Academy did get the side pick after Wayne Hollywood there, and they are trying to set the pace on defense first.
Yeah.
Or not trying to set the pace, trying to, stop the pace. They want to know what their end goal is, whether they have to cap 10 meters or 100. And we are midway through loading in right now.
And I'm gonna give a score update in case we are live on Twitch, which I don't know if we are.
I do believe we are. Yeah,
right,
I've seen people in chat talking about the game, so they're either clairvoyant or we're live.
Or we're live. All right. Well, on the off chance you are not clairvoyant, OTW won their match 3-0, and I believe they're playing SBC this week. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it was SBC.
I wouldn't know. I can check.
No, I
later.
got it.
Okay.
I'm on my second monitor. We're chilling. Yeah, it was against SBC. Or no, sorry, it was against Hyperflex. So pretty expected result.
So then that was Geometric versus SBC. How did that go?
I don't have an update for them yet. I will be sure to bring it to you as soon as I know it.
I don't believe that game was streamed, so as
No,
soon
it's
as we
on.
get...
It's on channel 2. It's on channel
It
2.
is? Okay.
Yes, it is. I'm
Score. Let me
checking
check
right now.
score report. I have the score coming in from Acronator, the host caster streamer of that match. Geo 3-0'd Seattle Battle Cattle.
Yep. And that's kind of what we expected for this week, I would say. Like everyone but Wisdom and EM had fairly predictable matchups. I think this is over delivering, and we see the pharmacy mirror coming out, and Alpha on Ashe. So yeah, they are kind of going for the sniper composition stuff. So, but again, you see the side of EM favoring kind of like a meta hybrid. Alpha with the quick snipes onto RQT is going to force out Res if they can get it, but nope, no it doesn't, because Alpha just clicked their head.
Yep. So they swapped out an Ashe player for another Ashe player. Maybe they just think Alpha Omega is going to be better. And so far, he's proven himself.
Yeah, I mean, Alpha was a pretty lethal hit scan last season when he was on form. And I mean, having him back up Spongy is pretty good. And I mean, I don't know, like, I could see Spongy hasn't had the most amazing game. I think the last map was really, really decent from him. But like, I mean, I don't know. I don't know Navina's reasoning. I trust them. They're pretty smart over there. Minimax drops down to contest his cart. That's fine. He jumps back up, just looking to, slow them down. Alpha just gets another kill onto RQT, and I just immediately thirsts the kill onto Dragon. Both the supports are down from the side of EM, and this is just a bloodbath.
Immediately there, as soon as RQT went down, Dragoon,
literally to hold space.
Yeah, Dragoon tried for that res, but Titanic was just right above it, direct hit, killing the Mercy. One thing that I can't stop seeing from Novice right now is these risky reses. They don't always work.
Oh yeah. No, and they don't have the tech, so they don't know how to like jump res or any of that stuff where like they can safely well, not safely, less riskily do it.
Yeah.
But now you see the full meta coming out from the side of EM, but the pathing is not great because it does force them into this tiny little area where Bar can just jam in rockets. Minimax is trying to hold space, but they're going to start backing here because they really can't take a fight here. Because if EM just hits the W key really, really hard, it's going to be hard for Wisdom to survive. But they're playing really slow. Coalescence coming out though, but Bar gets 2. But Alpha falls to Bessie King. It's a winnable fight, but nope, Titanic says no, not today. And that's going to be another win for Wisdom Academy.
Alpha Omega did not get rezzed, but he did die in that fight. Geekcake rezzed Red Panda, and he is going to stick on the Ashe.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the Ashe is still working out really, really well. Dynamite's really pretty powerful, and the awkward thing about swapping over is I'm not convinced. I mean, I guess anyone can play Reaper. Oh no, Zorthcon's getting caught out pretty hard here. He needs to get back in his mech. Gets back in, survives. Minimax is low though, gonna have to pop Primal most likely. Nope, gets away to get a Mega. But now everyone's kind of split and very exposed. Bomb coming out from the side of Zorthcon, and he finds 2. But now the counter bomb comes out, and Alpha just doesn't die? How did Alpha not die? Wait, what? Okay.
I wanna shout out
fight.
Red Panda here. I've been spectating him for the stream, and he is hitting sleep darts. He is hitting these antis at the moments when they're needed most.
No,
And
100%.
they are not diving him as much as they should be. They're trying to dive the Pharah and the Ashe, and those are disposable, but Red Panda is not.
Yeah, I think like the thing they're missing is they should just like get on top of the front line, bubble off the Winston, and then try to kill him. EMP comes out from the side of EM, gets 3, and they find 2 of their own. Wisdom though equalizes and then Geekcake falls. Minimax is doing everything he can to live, backs off behind his bubbles. Zorthcon still fighting on point, but should be backing out here. And that's a really good disengage inside of Wisdom Academy. They're going to be setting up to recontest. Really good fight using EMP. Yeah, but Wisdom should get a recontest here. And there's Zorthcon coming on in. Both bubbles are exchanged, and then there's Thigh, but he gets just destroyed by Youngsu. Using Barrage. Death Blossom comes out, finds Geekcake and Zorthcon's mech, and this should be a 1 fight to the side of EM. beat though was committed when it probably didn't have to be.
I'm not sure
I
they're
would be
risking
surprised if
anything. Red Panda with a sleep onto RQT before it goes down. They did not want to risk anything there. They, using the ults that they needed to make sure they didn't have to hard hold the first point.
No, 100%. And I mean, if Wisdom Academy sitting up on this high ground, they're gonna look to try to punish the inability to contest high ground really from the side of EM.
I wouldn't say it's really an inability. Reaper could teleport up.
Well,
Sombra
there's
is
moving
already
around.
in the
other
back
issue with
line
this comp is obviously
on
that
Merlin.
contesting is very dangerous, no matter who does it. A tank will just good. On the back line on Merlin, yes. Merlin goes in, pops Primal, tries to break apart the positioning. RQT teleports up, but has to use Fade to get out in one piece. Alpha's being split really hard, and Panda falls to Vespi King. Bob comes onto the point. Gets hacked though, and isn't going to be able to do much to help the side of Wisdom. And this is like looking like a big roll. But there comes Bomb. Gets Merlin. Kind of a misplay from Merlin. He could have just backed up, but he didn't. Pog, popping Coalescence, trying to win this. How do Wisdom get in these fights? They need to kill Pog. Pog is one. Finally falls to Red Panda sniping. Red Panda really doing a ton this match.
He's the backbone of this team right now.
Oh, but that's a big bomb coming out. Panda doing an excellent job getting into the bubble to deny any value. And this is a very winnable fight for Wisdom Academy. This should be it for this fight. Yeah, and Minimax just killing Dragon for extra measure, and they're finally resetting.
Zorthcon's still out of mech, so if Edinburgh Monarchs want to contest soon, try and get the hack off, deny anything from Zorthcon, they could win this. Cap this second
Yeah,
point.
but they have to play faster. They're taking so long to set up, and Zorth's already 70%.
Yeah, Titanic is still poking while they're getting set up.
Yeah, I would not be surprised to see Nano Barrage come out here. But that's a massive EMP. It finds 5. Only Zorthcon doesn't get hit. And that's going to be Panda and Geek falling early. And this is probably too much. This has to be the fight.
I think that is going to be the fight.
They have to fall back and recontest, but the tanks are still fighting, so... Okay, good. They're going to try to die on point.
Yeah, they are going to take it into overtime, but overtime doesn't do much if they can't recontest again. Zorthcon coming on, but it's not going to do much. Titanic coming back with ultimate, but I'm not sure he's going to get there quick enough.
Yeah. Oh, Farah gets the nano boost. Doesn't find anything, though. Big anti-nade. That's a huge stun from Alpha. And Mini gets to recontest. Red Panda's won, but it's not going to really matter. Oh, nope. Young Su finds him. And this is going to be another one fight, the side of EM. Oh, but they're still stalling. Wow, that's actually crazy. They're still stalling. That forces out Primal from the side of EM, and that's a fairly big ultimate taken away there.
I think they know what they're doing. They're stalling, they're baiting these ultimates, they're really slowing them down. I don't think there's any possible way Monarchs can take this point with any time remaining. They're gonna go into overtime.
No, 100%, and I'm not even convinced they still take it, right? Like Wisdom now switching over to the meta. I think that Wisdom's mirror is
the
pretty
meta
good.
with McCree trying there to stun. If he can land a flashbang on Youngsu or RQT, that is going to be big and fight winning, depending on when he can get it.
Yeah, absolutely. EMP comes out, finds. Oh my word! Vespi King EMP bomb finds 2. Minimax also dies to RQT. It's going to be a pretty quick fight for the side of Edinburgh. And yeah, they're just gonna walk in the payload.
Yeah.
But Titanic gets the touch. But he has to use his cooldown to get there. E-Cake falls to Dragon. This map's close. This is all close. Primal comes out from Minimax. Pretty big boop, getting people separated and split off. Zorthcon, unfortunately, coming back on ball, immediately gets hacked and has a kill, and that's gonna be just falls, and Thai's just trying to live out here.
I'll eat my words. 6 seconds. 6 seconds is more than overtime.
Yeah, the ultimate economy game is something that actually favors EM. I think I'm comfortable saying that now. That's something that needs to be fixed. They
found what works against Wisdom, and they're implementing it, they're slow. They're using ultimates even when the fight is in their favor. They're not risking anything, and it's paying off. You know, they did full cap escort here with 6 seconds left.
Yeah,
So
I
that's
think all.
if Wisdom does cap, that's gonna bump up to at least 1 minute and 6 seconds, which is enough to take a fight and and get some people on cart if they play it right.
No, absolutely. Oh, and they're just staying on their poke comp. Interesting. I did not see that coming. I would have thought they would have gone meta here after they got. I mean, I don't know if it's comp diff, but it's starting to feel like comp diff. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think I mean, admittedly, like Wisdom's ability to counter the enemy ultimates has not really been there. They haven't played around EMP very well. They haven't played around RQT all that well, and they certainly haven't played around particularly Vespi King's ultimate or just individual value, frankly. Like, Vespi King's gotten so many different frags in different spots today. It's kind of been surprising. And, you know, Youngsu also doing a lot, right? I think they've hacked Bob every single time it's been up. Almost every single time.
I do believe they did get that before they switched off to Tracer, and then it was something else before they had to stall.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Youngsu falling a little early, gets forced out, that's fine. Titanic really just poking, trying to find individual value. Dive comes out from Merlin, and he just kind of feeds, but Alpha Omega trades for that. But honestly, Vespi King should not live here. He's taking a ton of damage from Titanic. And that's a big sleep coming out from Red Panda. Vespi King somehow escaping with their mech. That's a big deal. And they actually team mech Zorthcon RQT with a huge individual performance there. Minimax looking to not get farmed by RQT. Zorthcon winning a duel with Youngsu to keep his life and get his mech back off screen. And this is still poke phase. You really just gotta play around your DPS and hope they pop up. Whereas the side of EM, they're just looking to get aggressive here. But the fight's kind of all over the place. Like, neither team really doing a whole lot right now.
It's slow and steady until they build ults. Youngsu coming up on Somber ult.
Oh,
Slept by
they
Red
gotta count
Panda.
this down. Oh, but they don't count it out. Oh, huge nade too.
Red Panda
Oh,
saves it, and they're
no.
coming in with Pharah ultimate.
And that's gonna be a fight win. Oh, huge bubble from Merlin to get the suicide.
That was
Big
actually
res from
Vespa
DK.
King flying in, Red Panda, Nana coming out onto Minimax, diving in their backline.
Yep, and Minimax finds Dragon, and the DPS each find one of their own, and that's going to be a clean win for Wisdom. And they're coming up on Bob. They're coming up... Yeah, they're coming up on Bob, and they already have 3 ults. This should be a pretty easy win, unless...
They do
gets
have
a ton
this
of value.
EMP Reaper, and they are contesting.
And Dai says no, but Dai's the Vespi King who finds 2. And now Panda gets pressured out in the backline. Bomb on the point, no bubble. They demech Vespi King, and Minimax is living on the point. But he goes back in to recontest. He needs to just chill and get some health or disengage. Looks like he opts to disengage. Zorthcon doesn't get staggered too badly, so yeah, but good win for the side of
That was beautiful. Titanic did take out RQT early there after the EMP, denied that combo, but Vespa King coming in, getting kills. Even as Baby Diva, he was getting huge value. Keeping that point contested, really doing some damage to
out,
the
so
Wisdom.
Minimax gets pressured out, but Bob won't get hacked here and just sits in the middle of point. Oh my goodness, there's only 60 seconds left. Like, Wisdom absolutely have to win this. Minimax gets res, which is huge. Panda's in the middle of the engagement. Merlin's antied. This could be winnable for Wisdom. Thai finds Dragon. Zorthcon gets demeched. But that's a really late EMP. Is it enough? No, Thai finds his own value. Pog falls to Minimax. Thai then gets RQT, and Alpha cleans up Vespi King and Merlin. And we will play on.
Monarchs did put up a good defense on that point on the Shadow Dive while Titanic was poking on that Pharah. I do believe it was 2 ultimates he had in that fight, just not finding value with Vespa King in mech. As long as they don't throw mech away, they can contest this Pharah no problem.
Yeah, absolutely. Both bubbles out very, very early for both teams. Minimax dives in with the long-range support of Alpha Omega, pounding in damage. He also has his ultimate, so he can pretty safely do aggressive plays like this. Alpha killing Pog right at the right time. RQT may get the frag back, but it may not be enough. Nano Monkey comes in, and yeah, like Wisdom just rolling streets here pretty hard.
Sombra contesting points, slowing down. This does give them a very good opportunity to recontest here, coming in with Vespa King and Merlin ultimates. Dragoon does have that Lucio beat. He's had it for a while, and that could be a fight winner, especially with Titanic, with a good Pharah ult coming up.
Oh, but he's gonna go for Dragon first. No beat time at all, and that's probably enough if he can just get this kill under RQT. Panda certainly needs the help though, because Merlin's primaling in their backline. RQT continues to live, but Minimax uses his own ult, pushes everyone back into his team. Pog ends up falling because of the use of the primal. They need to be aggressive. They got to take this fight. Titanic gets Pog, and that's going to be pretty good here. Bomb comes out, doesn't get anything. Thigh finds Best Speaking while the mech is coming back. This is the Titanic show at the moment, and Alpha gets 2 of his own, ends up falling, but Thigh cleans up the remaining kill. Rez comes out on the Alpha Omega.
I'd say they still have a recontest here if they're fast enough.
No, they don't. They don't. There's no way. Like, they would just...
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, they want to get their regroup here and get a good fight on these doors, because once this opens up to the high ground being a factor, it really favors the attackers. They're already seeing Alpha on a flank. And Panda, bloodthirsty, finds the first pick on a dragon, and Merlin dies to Dynamite. Minimax kills Pog, and this is much more reminiscent to what we expect out of Wisdom Academy.
Wisdom pushes Monarchs all the way back into their spawn, but Monarchs do get a good disengage. You know, they lost 2, they're out. They know that.
Lost 3, didn't they?
Doesn't really matter much. They lose anyone, they're out of this fight. Titanic is hiding, trying to get an ultimate here. Takes out Pog.
And gets out Pog. Bob comes out. RQT gets 1, but it shouldn't be enough. There's no supports again. Thighs just knows the win condition. Take away the support. Zordcon throws out Bomb. Finds Vespi King out of mech. Alpha Omega, like, setting that up with his Bob. Minimax trying to contest the space that they're coming out of, but really needs to make sure he doesn't die. Rumps up the high ground. Huge anti-nade. And that anti-nade really, like, helps secure this fight. No coalescence for the side of EM, but Geekcake falls and Northcon's out of mech. This is actually kind of close still. Zorthcon in Baby Diva form, killing RQT. Thigh and Minimax just running amok. Big Sleep coming out, doesn't find anything though. Minimax finds Pog again, and Vespi King. And Wisdom just rolling here. They need to clean up this fight though, so that they can cap with time. They need to kill Dragon quickly. And that's a great way to clean up the fight quickly. Moira though, no fade on the point. There's now 3 players on from the side of EM. TP coming out from RQT, just trying to contest. Actually gets a pick. Oh, this is gonna be really close. Big Anti comes out, and the Nano onto Winston, and he's just gonna try to stop more people from touching, but Big Bomb comes out. Oh, huge boop! I don't know how they got booped. I don't know what booped them. Was it Farah?
I wasn't looking.
They cap with time.
So they actually, would they get 3 seconds? They cap with 3 seconds?
They cap with 3.2.
That is crazy. We've got a minute and a minute 3. That might as well be the same. This is one fight territory through and through. Each team...
Actually, it's...
I don't know. On this first point, they don't really get a chance to re-engage unless they really hop out, die early. It is a long trek. I'm going to fly by it just now. Coming out of this vault, they've got to walk down this entire street. No sight lines on the point.
Yeah.
Until they get around these corners or above the high ground. I think Titanic is going to stick on. I'll eat my words. I thought he was going to stick on the Pharah, but it looks like they are attacking first, and he's coming out on Sombra. Possibly.
I think like the whole thing that you just said is like the whole reason they're doing this. If it's me, I want to try to mirror them and then just take the free push on cart to the choke, and then hopefully your macro play is better. I think if they were on a different composition, they would consider doing something different or playing it differently. The thing I would be interested to see out of the side of EM is, are they going to pull a spawn hole? Doesn't look like they will, but that's a pretty viable strategy, especially with the meta being what it is. Especially at this point. I mean, just like the trek for first is kind of long on this map on Escort.
60 seconds remaining.
And the choke points are pretty insane.
Stop the payload.
Just stay out of my
But off to the races, Youngsu just, farming the backline, already off to 20% EMP. But it's pretty easy for defending Sombras to get a farm advantage early. And you see that being a factor. But, oh, Minimax gets a huge pick! That's a massive kill onto the Sombra for EM. And you're going to see Wisdom just aggress into them now. This is just going to be absolute, pure, hold the W key. The Lucio is actually kind of feeding for EM, but it doesn't really seem to make a difference. It's just splitting with the focus fire. Zorthcon's already 50% to his ult. Hat comes out on a Vespi King. They need to demech him here. And he gets away with his life. RQT finds Alpha Omega. That's a huge pick. And there's 6 seconds left. You can't lose this fight. You have to win. Merlin's hacked, but no one's really pressuring him because they're just trying to hold the space. Huge EMP for the side of Wisdom. It finds the supports. Merlin falls. Beat comes out.
For both sides.
Counter beat comes out. Bomb comes out. Bomb finds nothing. But that's RQT's ult. Finds Geekcake, which is a huge pick for the side of EM. But Minimax is in the backline with his Primal. And Bomb finds nothing for Wisdom. They need to kill RQT, but it doesn't seem like it's going to happen. And they're just pushing everyone off the point. That's going to be a hold.
Yeah. Alpha Omega had his ultimate. He was hacked by Youngsu and just gets knocked off the point. That wasn't the best hold. I mean, it was something, but I think that's easily beatable on the side of Monarchs.
So, I'm going to disagree with you a little bit.
Okay. Let's hear it.
So there's a very, very important element to this point, right? To this particular point of the map. And that is the archway, the bridge area.
Yes, I'm looking at it right now.
Getting it through bridge, especially at this elo, is very hard. And if Wisdom play their cards right, they'll be able to contest that more properly. Like, basically, Wisdom got that for free because of Minimax's early pick onto Youngsu.
Yeah,
so
they had
Youngsu's
to
mistake,
disengage into the back of the point.
Yeah, and that gave the biggest obstacle away to Wisdom, right? And remember, we're on basically identical time banks, so a hold is completely reasonable here.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, that defense, like, was good, but it was about as good as it could be given how scuffed the early engagement was, because Youngsu got picked. And look at this, Wisdom know the tech, man. They're playing this close.
Yeah, if
Like,
they play this close and die really quick, they could re-engage before the side of Monarchs push it up that far. So
Yeah,
they might be
basically
going
they're
for
gonna
2
wait to
fights.
Yeah, they're gonna wait and see for the cart to start moving. Oh no, they're gonna just hold this corner. Interesting. I feel like they would have aggressed here. Okay, now the aggression comes out. Both bubbles are out. Minimax hard engages, really aggressively. RKT finding Minimax again. Alpha falling early to Pog. They need to just die on the point here. This fight was very, very quick for the side of Edinburgh. Wow, actually, they're still living on this point way longer than I expect them to. And with Zorthcon dying, yeah, 30 seconds, man, and they should actually get back in time to, like, at least hold the space.
I think they'll have an opportunity to hold Arch.
And
Edinburgh
also
Monarchs
EMP
do
def.
now have 3 on. Yeah, Titanic at 73, Youngsu at 45. He's going to
They're
have
not even
that
looking for
10
Arch.
seconds.
Yeah, they're not even looking for Arch. They're just looking to get a good engagement here and contest the point at the last second. In terms of ult advantage, the only thing that really matters is that EMP. If EMP can get... Oh, that's a huge early pick on a Dragon. Everything's falling apart for EM if they don't change it quickly. Merlin's already low. He's going to have to pop Primal to stay alive. The fact that he hasn't yet... There you go. Primal comes out. Alpha Omega goes in. Pog fall Minimax. And there's EMP and Coalescence. Wisdom clutch up, I think. And here's the bomb for extra merit. They got to break the bubble. Bomb is a little too high, doesn't really make a difference. Red Panda with the kill feed. Oh my. Panda? Wisdom win it 3-1. That was crazy. And ultimately, you got to give credit to both teams. I mean, I don't think anyone expected EM to play it this close. And here's Thai with probably a massive barrage. I mean, he had like 4 in this series. I have no idea which one. Oh, clean early pick there. Forces out everything from the side of EM, and it doesn't really make a difference. Ground Pharah getting value.
Ground Pharah can sometimes be the scariest Pharah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, absolutely. That was a really closely contested fight. Who do we want to interview? I really am interested because like I would give it to Thai, but I mean he probably has gotten 4 interviews already. I'm going to wait. Oh, people are already leaving.
Hold on. Let me just say wisdom, stick around, please. Well, Titanic's already gone. He's
yeah, Thai's out. We're just gonna pretend. I think honestly, the people I'm interested in interviewing now would probably be either Panda. Probably Panda. Yeah,
okay.
I think interviewing Panda makes a lot of sense.
We can get Panda in here.
Yeah, let's get Panda in here.
Let's see what he says. Wait.
If he says no, I'm just gonna go with Minimax.
I hate to say it now, but we did have admins discussing the before we get Red Panda in here, we did have admins discussing the Alpha Omega issue.
Dude, it's in the rulebook. I actually
it's in the rulebook, but Divine said he was a free agent for Inter, but a latecomer for Novice.
Oh, that's so silly.
So we'll talk about it.
And he checked beforehand, and like we literally went in the rulebook, and it didn't make sense for him to be a latecomer to me. Oh my lord.
Admins will talk about it. We'll figure it out. Let's get Red Panda in before he disappears though. Where is he? Red Panda plush.
My 2 cents on the matter is very, very simple. They seeked clarification. We did the best we could with the rule book we had in front of us.
I think Zakaro had already said in DMs to Navino, we're gonna look at it after the game for sure. But let's get Red Panda in here, and he is muted right now. He's server muted. Red Panda, are you there?
Hello.
Yeah, how are you, Panda?
Hello. I'm doing just swell right now.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think a much closer match than a lot of people expected, myself included. And I thought that ultimately it would come down to DPS diff, but I'll just level. I felt like RQT was getting the better end of the DPS thing, and so really, I think when we watched, a lot of the things that stood out to us was at key moments, both you and Geek, got big plays. I think none bigger than at the end, that coalescence. Like, how many kills did you get? 4?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, no. So
it was big for sure.
No, it was a massive coalescence. So how has the preparation going into this week been? And was this match a wake-up call for Wisdom, like at dropping a map and every map being as close as it was outside of the first one?
So this week, I don't know, prepping for this game, we did what we usually do. We focused on our own gameplay, focused on our own macro, things like that, just playing our own game well. Pretty much the only thing we even talked about with Edinburgh before playing them was that they like to let RQT carry. The match was really close, but I think we still played well, and it gives us a lot of ways to look at where we need to improve. Some good maps for VOD review, and honestly,
absolutely.
we beat the second best team in Novice, so.
Oh yeah, still on top.
We're sitting on top right now.
100% agree. And talking about you're not a newcomer to the league by any stretch, but certainly a newcomer to the role of flex support, at least in most people's eyes.
Sure.
So like my question for you is like, and obviously your brother got role star for flex support last season. So like, how has really dusting off that skill set been? Obviously playing for a team as good as Wisdom and having high expectations around you all the time. Like, how has that transition been?
Well, flex support's always been my second best role, and like Ana, one of my best heroes, like better than a lot of my DPS were, anyways. To be honest, so it felt like a pretty comfortable switch to make, especially when like DPS was in such a weird spot, especially with projectile. I was really happy to be picked up by Wisdom. I know they hold people to a high standard, so like I'm definitely like I'm still not where I need to be, but I have been getting a lot of the help that I need and coaching that I need to make that transition, and I think it's been going well.
No, absolutely. I think it was Dorado. No, was it Dorado? Or no, Hollywood. You just hit like 3 sleeps in a row over the course of like 3 fights or something crazy, and like absolutely created key opportunities for your team. I don't have much else to say. Are you guys nervous about anything moving forward? I mean, obviously you beat the second best team in the league. You're about to move into Swiss play. Clearly Edinburgh is better than I think we all thought. Do you have any concerns before we get to the Swiss portion?
No, I don't think we're concerned about anything because we're already the best team and we just keep getting better anyways. So it's not like anybody's going to catch up with us.
I love it. I love it. Do you have anything for him, Pendy?
Um, I didn't really have any specific questions. That was wonderful game to watch, wonderful game to cast. If you have anything you want to shout out, now would be a great time to do it.
Shout outs to Nev for yelling at us in warm-ups.
That's a very Navino thing. I've been there, done that. I am sorry. He probably yell at you again when you guys get back to the server. Not gonna lie.
Hey, it worked.
It did work.
Yeah, if you
GGs,
guys,
man.
you guys
Thank for joining
4-0
us.
right now.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
100%. And thanks everyone for tuning in. That was your novice game, and it was good. It was close. It was competitive, and I look forward to seeing how the rest of the season unfolds. Good luck to both teams moving forward. Have a good night, everybody.
All right, yeah. Thanks for watching.